much more of a specialized focus, either on impact or on agriculture or other sectors obviously as well. But for us, good food and urban farming is one of our 5 core pillars. So we're quite active in it, and as a result, we see very exciting projects.
Yeah, and also in horticulture, right?
Yeah, for sure. So we invested, for example, in a company that started off as a vertical farm, purely vertical farming with leafy greens and your typical things, herbs, salads, etc. And they pivoted now to strawberries. They're very successful in strawberry production. We invested in a firm that creates crickets, insects, and then they converts them into energy bars. We've also invested in companies that do biostimulants, because obviously in Belgium the biotech sector is very strong, very large, with a lot of things happening. So we have quite some exposure to all these things.
Yeah, and you mentioned at the start of your introduction that you have a link to Brussels. What does that practically mean?
Well, that means that for every investment that we make with our money of the investment fund, that we need to be able to demonstrate a positive link to Brussels. So for the investment funds, if you look at some of the very large investment funds, obviously they're not going to invest all of their money in Brussels because they need to go out in Europe or even in the world and find the best companies that they really believe in and that they want to push forward. But for our direct investments, we do look for direct links with Brussels, and luckily there's quite some things happening in and around Brussels, with lots of things happening in universities, and obviously being a major city and the capital, unofficial or official capital of Europe, whatever you want to call it, it does attract a lot of talent. So Brussels is the second most diverse city in the world, meaning that there's a huge melting pot of ideas, where you have Italians, Portuguese, Spanish people from all over Europe, but also from all over the world that come together and that create companies. And this leads to the fact that, for example, for Belgium, around 50% of startups are created around Brussels, broader region of Brussels, 35% in Brussels directly. So we're quite lucky to see quite some interesting companies